snake. Why are we still here? Just to suffer? Every night, I can feel my leg, my arm.
Так, ну это уже было, поэтому я... Оу. Ну чё? А как пропустить? А, о. Что же пропустить? Бля. Чё?
Boss, there's something I want to talk about. It concerns the running of Mother Base. Come meet me.
Ну, ладно, базарим.
Okay. Go for them.
Чё ты делаешь,
That's enough.
Ну, подошел, давай базарь.
You came. This base belongs to you now. Make Diamond Dogs the force it deserves. Like any organization, we need good people, and we need to make good use of their talents. Miller asked me to lay that out for you. To start bringing people in, use this. It's a Fulton recovery device.
Это рюкзачок маловат.
When you're in the field, use it to extract any soldiers or prisoners you want back here. And we'll see if we can't persuade them to join the ranks of Diamond Dogs. Go on. Test it out on the staff here. Anyone you want. Boss. First, put them to sleep. You have a tranquilizer gun, don't you? Out like a light. Now approach him and extract him. Good.
Фига он стартанул.
Extraction complete. You can only Fulton recover someone if they're not resisting. No dead bodies either. They don't make great recruits. The staff member you just extracted will be assigned to the team best suited to his abilities. See for yourself.
Давай быстрее, я это уже знаю, все делал. На. А. Ну.
Select staff management.
Управление.
That staff member was placed on the R&D team. The R&D team is in charge of developing all kinds of weapons and items that'll support you on missions. Take a look at the development list. Select weapons items under the development heading.
Please specify
That's the R&D team's development list. See the item called cardboard box? Didn't seem much use to me, but Miller was adamant that you'd want it on the list. The last word in infiltration technology, or so he said. In any case, we don't have the manpower to develop it just yet. We need more staff on the team. Go extract a few more people. You can also Fulton extract individuals you've knocked out. Why don't you try knocking someone out? Excellent, boss. Now extract it. Good.
Extraction
complete.
arrived at Mother
One thing I
Base.
should mention. The Fulton extraction won't
function
always be
added.
successful. If the person is
Development
injured, the shock of it could
project
kill
has
them.
been added.
And if the weather's unfavorable, well, it could end up going missing. You can determine the chance of success by approaching the person you want to extract. If you want to be sure you can get them out, best carry them to the chopper instead. Boss, now that we have more people on the R&D team, its level has gone up. They should be able to develop the cardboard box now. Open your eye droid. Select weapons items under the
Please
development.
specify
Now select
project.
cardboard box and start development. Just be aware that development requires funds. GMP. Watch we don't end up in the red. Development has finished.
Please select
You
enter
can have the support
supplies
unit supply you
requested.
with weapons and items you've developed.
Supply
Think of it
drop
as your
complete.
own personal delivery service. call in a supply drop, watch you don't. And there it is. Not sure what it's good for, but Miller said you know what to do. Try it out. One last thing. The staff members you extracted were all placed on the R&D team, but that was Miller's decision. If you think they belong somewhere else, you're free to move them around. Well, that about does it. You won't make any GMP or find recruits hanging around here. Board the chopper when you're ready for a mission. Open your iDroid and select a landing zone to tell it where to pick you up. Or if you're still in the mood for knocking guys on their asses, you can stay around here a while. Give the men some practice. Just come pay me a visit.
Так, где-то была принтик. Ну, в ожидании никого нет. Задание, полет, рандеву.
Please select a landing zone. Landing zone.
This is B-Quad. Arriving shortly at LZ. This is B-Quad. On station at LZ.
Не. Сейчас они все у меня по этим по отделениям распределяться. Да? Я же правильно думаю, управляемся с каналом. Поддержка. Перераспределение. Нет. Так, ладно, черт с ним. Погнали на первое задание.
Extraction arrived at Mother Base.
Следовательский. Получен сотрудник с новым навыком. Это время. О! А я чё так бабок наминусовал фултонами, что ли, этими? Надо кассеты послушать. Я забываю все время. Ничего себе. Давай. Послушаем кассеты. iDroid. Так. Сейчас 5 минут, я покушать что-нибудь себе накидаю. Так, ну все, можно слушать.
You were hospitalized in Dikelia, a British sovereign base area on Cyprus. It's part of British overseas territory that falls outside of Cypriot jurisdiction. You got moved from Cuba's Little America right into Cyprus's Little Britain. Why Dikelia? The UK and the US remain close allies. The last place Cypher would think to look for you is inside their own system. That's what kept you safe in British military hospital for 9 years. The safest place from a whale is inside its own belly. You were a regular Geppetto.
Well, it wasn't Pinocchio who led me out to safety. So who was that guy?
Cypher went so far as to attack British territory, burning their own ally. That's how badly they wanted you dead.
He said I was in a British military hospital. But the doctor had a Greek accent.
They hire locally. Easier to trust them. Dikelia is also home to Greek Cypriots, after all.
What about the Turks? They haven't returned to the south.
Not yet. The Cyprus dispute is still a long way from resolved. The country is just as split as it was in '74. Turkish Cypriots in the north, Greek Cypriots in the south. Between them, the Green Line, the UN established.
And Dikelia sits right on top of it.
It does. Part of the buffer zone between the two groups. Another reason it was the perfect place to hide you. Easy to spot any outsiders snooping around.
So how do things stand?
Now, last year, the Turks declared that the Turkish Republic of Northern Cyprus is an independent state, though it's only Turkey that recognizes it. In the past, the Greeks and Turks lived side by side in the same villages. There are reasons to fight. Those came from the outside. Greece, Turkey, Britain, America, they all had their own stake in pitting the two sides against each other. But once you spark something like this, it's impossible to control. Both sides build up grudges like debt, without the foresight to see that each act of revenge just fans the flames. And then it's too late for other nations to rush in with peace talks. The embers keep on smoldering. Each nation's arrogance only breeds anarchy. The world is paralyzed by this hunger for revenge. Cyprus is no different. You're up.
We're changing ships?
We can't go sailing the Suez in a whaler.
The Suez Canal. When did they reopen it?
Not long after you were attacked. Once they finished sweeping it for mines after the Arab-Israeli conflict. Can you stand? We're going to transfer to a container ship for passage through the Suez. Our destination is Pakistan, Afghanistan's neighbor to the south. There, we disembark and head via Peshawar to the Zero Line, the border. We'll travel to the Khyber Pass by road.
And then?
We continue on horseback. Afghanistan's main roads are under Soviet control. We'll need to go around them. It'll be all narrow, winding paths through the mountains. We'll do better on horseback. It's a local guerrilla tactic. They use the higher ridges to avoid air recons. Then they charge down the mountains for ambushes. The Soviets still haven't devised a counter-strategy. Our time frame is only half as much as we really need. It'll be a tough march.
Better horses than boats.
Well, it'll make for good physiotherapy. Take the time to get used to that new arm.
While the Soviets have indicated they are not participating in the Los Angeles Olympics, primarily because the United States has made no attempt to guarantee the safety of the Soviet Union's athletes, the United States is increasingly demonstrating the belief that the issue has nothing to do with its preparations, and in fact this is retaliation for the Western nations' boycott of the previous Moscow Olympics. That concludes today's news.
That's quite some news.
The Soviet Union not attending the LA Olympics? Yeah. Andropov's death has changed some things. They're calling it revenge for the Western boycott of the Moscow Olympics.
Countries boycotted the Moscow Olympics?
Yes. In protest of the Soviet Union's invasion of Afghanistan. Over 50 countries were absent. It's too bad I didn't get to see Yamashita's judo. When the 40th Army crossed the Amu River 4 years ago, détente went right out the window. The U.S. Congress chose not to ratify SALT II, and Reagan's hardline politics won him the presidency in a landslide. According to him, the Soviet Union's an evil empire.
The Second Cold War.
And there's been no end to regional conflicts since...
Oh!
You were hospitalized in Decalia. A
Ладно,
British soccer.
неважно.
Miller told me about what happened in the Caribbean 9 years ago.
Нечаянно
You
нажал.
remember Miller. You'd formed a private army with him. An army with no allegiance to a nation.
I remember, but
I see. You're not sure what's fact and what's a fantasy caused by the coma. It's still all a mess, huh? All I can do is tell you the facts as they were told to me. I've gone easy on you up until now. This is where the hard stuff begins. 1974, the year before you entered your coma. You were in Colombia, operating with a small unit of men, basically mercenaries. Miller was among them. Miller was trying to find a way to turn his and your talents into a line of work. He was looking to start a business where you would fight on behalf of others around the world, those who needed military force. But the reality was, at that time, you didn't have enough gear to equip your own men. Then Miller came across this client. It was a huge job he was offering, but you had a shot at pulling it off. You accepted it and headed into Costa Rica. The client even threw in an offshore facility in the Caribbean. The mother base, that would be your new base of operations. Miller sure did have a head for business. As your mission went on, your unit grew and grew. More weapons, more money. Before you knew it, you were commanding 300 men. As the organization got bigger, your military powers swelled to match. It got so the international community couldn't afford to ignore you. You were just too damn successful for your own good. You, your men, had worn out your welcome. Everyone was out for you. East, West, First World, Third. It was only a matter of time before someone took you down. And that was XOF. Officially, they're an anti-terror unit under the CIA. In reality, they're Cypher's private strike force. They lured you to Cuba using Chico, the Nicaraguan revolutionary kid, and Paz, a mole who worked for Cypher as bait. While you were gone, XOF, posing as a nuclear inspection team, stormed Mother Base. At the same time, C4 they placed on the strut legs went off. The whole thing went down in minutes. XOF. Kisses and hugs followed by a big FU. All because of Miller's blind spot. A back door into Mother Base no one suspected. You remember a certain scientist. Huey was responsible for bringing the inspection team on board, giving the enemy a perfect opportunity to hit you at home. You were returning from Cuba when it happened. Mother Base came damn close to taking you with it into the Caribbean. Those of your men out on assignment returned right away. They refused to believe the wreckage in the water they found was Mother Base. But they checked the coordinates again and again, until reality finally settled in. You were supposed to die that day. That was XOF's primary objective. As far as most folks know, you did. The first doctor to see you wasn't even sure what he was looking at. Before they'd even finished operating, your men moved you to that hospital in Cyprus. It was a woman named Eva who arranged that. Rings a bell, huh? Most men in your condition would have been written off right from the start. But you survived. You went straight down to hell, and they pulled you out. Your eye wide open. Full of venom. The days of naked Snake are long gone. Welcome back, Venom Snake. This world still needs you. Here, Snake, try this on.
a prosthetic arm.
Yeah, Miller was calling it the arm that wasn't there. The physiotherapy's going well. Your arm's bulked up enough for it to fit. There. Perfect. A little time with it, and it'll work better than the real thing. What do you think?
Huh. I can still feel my real arm.
Well, you better get used to this one quick. You have any pain?
Every now and then.
Where?
My fingertips. My left fingertips.
Sounds like phantom pain. Your brain still remembers your old hand.
Yeah.
What about your vision? Can you see okay?
Yeah, at the moment.
Now, the shrapnel in your skull is pressing on your optic nerve. I'm told any hard impact could have an effect on your visual cortex.
Yeah. The doctor mentioned that.
Your brain might process visual information incorrectly. In other words, you could have hallucinations. You might see things that aren't there, or and not see things as they really are. You experienced any of that?
I think so.
When?
Right after I wake up. Colors look faded.
Colors, huh? Well, that's not a major concern in and of itself, but it could mean the difference between life and death in the field. You'll need to watch out for that.
I will.
All right. You should continue your physio. We'll be arriving soon. It's the last chance you'll get.
Ocelot. I hear they started calling you Shalashaska in Afghanistan. What's that about?
You know the term Sharashka? It's slang for a suspicious, hastily thrown together organization. The word became associated with a type of forced labor facility in the Soviet Gulag system. OKB scientists and engineers who'd been convicted of crimes were sent to a Sharashka for forced R&D. The Sharashkas were supervised by Lavrenti Beria of the NKVD, the secret police, under the official name 4th Special Department.
Forced research? That's not very different from what we do here.
Diamond Dogs is different. Everyone here believes in you. Regardless of where they came from or why they're here, they revere you. And they're fighting because it was their choice.
And if it wasn't, they'd leave?
Who knows? That's our reality here, whether it's real or not. If there's another truth, I don't want to know it. All that matters is that's the concept that's taken shape in their heads. The traces of a group ideology, our superstructure, to put it in Marxist terms.
All right. Go on.
Right. So anyway, at some point the enemy started calling me Sharashka. This was after the war in Afghanistan broke out. While I was keeping an eye on you in that hospital, I was also heading up interrogations here. The men I broke gave up their comrades and families, everything they wanted to protect them most. No real cause for it. I just let myself get caught up in the old Russian pride. And suddenly I received the honor of becoming Special Interrogation Advisor to the forced labor camps. But the more men I interrogated, the more people saw me as just that, the interrogator. It helped cover my real objective of keeping you safe.
You went that far for me?
Far enough to keep you alive. I ended up being pretty well known among the Afghan guerrillas. Some of them would have seen me on the battlefield, and that's how I got the second half of the name. Shashka. It's a sword, a type of saber from the Caucasus. Russian dragoons and Cossacks carried them into battle. Now, the Russian Empire had a general by the name of Fyodor Arturovich Keller. His bravery earned him the nickname Russia's Greatest Shashka. Someone must have known about that, because somewhere along the line, Shashka got stuck on the end of Sharashka. The guerrillas were using the name amongst themselves, and by the time I got to hearing about it, pronunciation had wound up as Shalashashka.
So, half Gulag, half Hero Sword. Is a perfect fit.
But you see how rumors and ideas about people can get out of hand fast. Once you create a character and put it out there in public mind, it warps and twists with every baseless rumor. And before you know it,
Невероятно интересная история, я спать захотел.
In my case, it works out just fine. I'm plenty used to working under aliases.
Наконец-то.
So SALT II still hasn't gone into effect.
That treaty was drawn up to limit not just the size of the U.S. and Soviet Union's nuclear arsenals, but also their delivery systems. The whole deal. Just when we thought all those years of negotiations had paid off, somebody decides to invade Afghanistan. The timing couldn't have been worse.
The president was in the middle of the SALT II talks back then.
You mean while you were busy trying to stop Peace Walker? I heard. President Ford was meeting with the General Secretary in Vladivostok. In his absence, the political brass in America detected what they didn't realize was false nuclear launch data from Peace Walker, and were on the verge of ordering a retaliatory nuclear strike.
Coleman's big idea? Humans are incapable of destroying themselves. Turns out he never knew what humans are capable of.
If that AI, the boss, hadn't found a way to stop the fake data transmission, they probably would have gone ahead with the launch.
Deterrence was revealed as the pipe dream it was.
All thanks to you. And her. The U.S.-Soviet talks looked set to fall through. What happened in Nicaragua no doubt helped trigger a change of heart. But in the end...
The times define the politics. When you've grabbed their tail, they turn and bite your hand.
I first met you 20 years ago now. The place was Selenouyarsk in the Soviet Union. We were enemies. I was with the GRU. You were still fighting for America. 1964. Operation Snake Eater. Its objective? The assassination of the legendary soldier known as the Boss. When you returned home successful, they awarded you the title Big Boss. Your CO, Zero, sought to carry on the Boss's will by covertly establishing his own organization. You knew the original members from Operation Snake Eater. From America, there was David O, or as he was to you, Major Zero. Donald Anderson, aka Sigint. Dr. Clark, who went by paramedic during the operation. And the fourth, you. From China, there was Eva. And me, Ocelot, from the Soviet Union. 6 in total. To us, government notions of friend and foe were meaningless. As were East and West, we joined forces by our will alone. Our objective was to fulfill the Boss's dying wish, to make the world one. And to do it, Zero used the Philosopher's Legacy, the secret war fund you obtained during Operation Snake Eater. This organization would go on to become Cypher. I, on the other hand, was left with the problem. You only recovered half of the legacy. I had to locate the other half myself. When I found the funds, I passed them on to Zero, just as you wanted.
I still trusted him in those days.
We thought what he was doing was the Boss's will, until he started that one project.
Les enfants terribles, Zero called it.
You parted ways, as did Eva, leaving only Anderson and Clark still with him. I maintained limited contact, although truth be told, we were just keeping tabs on one another. The reason was always you. After you returned to the Army and created Foxhound, you left America. For a time, even I'd lost track of you. I'd imagine Zero did too. You always were the best when it came to hide and seek. Zero created Cypher, an information network to tap into every corner of the globe. Woven together, Cypher's arteries make the world just one big organism. And that's not all. It also monitors the thorn in Zero's side. That's you, tracking your coordinates wherever you might go. The further you strayed from your roots, the larger Zero became. It's as if he was trying to close the gap between you. But before long, he disappeared from public life. Only a few people had direct contact with him. For a time, I was one of them. Then a year after you fell into your coma, he slipped out of sight entirely. Since then, nothing. No photos, no recordings, not even a reliable rumor as to his whereabouts. I tried every method I could think of, but Zero was gone. Freed of his control, his creation, his power continued to grow. Cypher is a great beast, and Zero was its spine. But even without him, it's endured, evolved. But now its body is rotting, riddled with parasites. Parasites like the ones who attacked you 9 years ago in the Caribbean, and then at the hospital. Cypher's Black Ops unit, XOF. They learned where you were, and came to wipe the slate clean. Christmas Eve, 1979. The Soviet Union rolled into Afghanistan. Muslims had revolted against the Soviet-friendly regime established the year before. The DRA forces could no longer contain it themselves, so the Soviets went in to intervene. The Afghan government was powerless and fraught with infighting. They lost the hearts and minds of the people, and that alarmed the Soviet leadership. With the Islamic Revolution happening in Iran, the Soviets felt they had to act fast or risk the spread of Islamic revivalism. A superpower, sending a motorized rifle division against men on horseback with antique rifles. Everyone thought it'd be over in an instant, only it wasn't. Some Muslims made their fight a jihad, a holy war, and began a guerrilla campaign on all fronts. A war of attrition. These fighters call themselves Mujahideen. They're being supported by the West through Pakistan. That's why Miller was involved. He was training them near the Zero Line, sponsored by the CIA. The war has become a nightmare for the Soviet troops stationed here. They thought they'd be headed home in 6 months at the most. Then a year passed. 2 years. Now here we are 4 years on with no exit in sight. Afghanistan has become the Soviet Union's Vietnam. The Soviet troops on the ground want to go home, but at least they have homes to go back to. The Afghans have lost theirs. The Soviets destroy the kishlaks, villages, wherever they can. They burn down homes and fields, fill in wells, turn pastures into minefields. It's created a mass of refugees who fled to Pakistan. If the Mujahideen are fish swimming around the villages, the Soviets will go so far as to dry out their ocean. But this has had a big price. There's bitter resentment among the Afghans, and they're taking out their anger on the soldiers on the front lines. Among the Mujahideen are the Pashtun people. They're fiercely devoted to their code of Badal, or revenge. Soviets they've captured have had their hands, feet, and noses cut off before being left to die at the side of the road, just to show their comrades what they're capable of. Friendlies who come across them can do nothing but put them out of their misery. Then they burn down another village in retaliation. And the cycle of vengeance goes on. Snake, I wanted to ask you about the man on fire. What do you remember from the hospital? Anything we can use?
Well, he took off the moment the sprinklers started up.
Sprinklers? The fire system?
And when he got sprayed with water from the burst pipe, it slowed him down.
When we escaped on horseback, he wouldn't cross the river either.
And then it started to rain. And he disappeared.
Water against fire. Is it that simple? I mean, it makes sense. It's just hard to believe it would work on a guy like that.
Секунду. Ну все, погнали на задание.
Please select a mission.
I've taken a job offers Diamond Dogs has received and made a list of those I want you to consider. Which ones you accept is your call. The objectives of the missions I've added are prisoner rescue, facility sabotage, and high-value target elimination. Probably all a walk in the park for you, but they should help you get back on your feet. I put the mission details on a cassette tape. Refer to it if you decide to accept the mission. We'll receive GMP for completing missions, and extracting soldiers and prisoners will boost our ranks. Building up Mother Base is the first step to achieving our goal. If that means wet work, so be it. We're gonna have to get our hands dirty. I hope you're rested up, because we're not stopping. Not until the pain is gone. The future of Diamond Dogs is in your hands. We're counting on you, boss.
Please specify a project.
Так. Снайперский приклад. Граната остается светосильным. Солнце использовали для места. О, вот это нам надо. И 4. Режим персонала. Лес. Вот она вон песка или наступающая. Неплохо. О! Давай, наверное, все-таки сельхмотки, наверное. Вот лучше. Исследуем. О! Мать, 300 тысяч стоит их. Я еще одну сюда. Так. Давай коробки, короче, сейчас все. Так. Все. Не понял в смысле.
Please specify project.
Хаки. А! Оно типа по ходу будет. Все понятно. Список миссии. Путь героя. Устраните командира подразделения спецназа тайно участвующего в операции выжженной земли в Афганистане. Целью разведывательное подразделение заняло деревню Шагу и готовится к штурму. Уничтожьте советское оборудование связи, чтобы не допустить отправки подкрепления между аванпостами. Эвакуируйте инженера, который попытался бежать с советской базы, и сейчас удерживается в казармах Хохсинд. Так. Пройден инструктаж по захвату. Ай, бля. Водитель грузовика эвакуирован. Захвачены необработанные алмазы из крепости Спугмай. Давай. Я думаю, потом можно будет, в принципе, галочки доделать. Выбор оборудования. Основное оружие. Ай, бля, понятно. Вспомогательное. Ну тут как бы понятно. Нихуя. Торнадо. Трясти, ебать, волына. Оружие поддержки. Так, С4, да. А, ну бля, у меня тут все есть уже. Предметы. Коробка. Болото, да, фантомная сигара, ощущающими субъективность восприятия времени, действует в условиях стресса, к примеру, при обнаружении противника. Че, она типа лечит, что ли? В принципе, мне пустынные-то и надо, да? Коробку. В смысле, выбор персонажа. А. Не. О, блядь, плюс. Вариант башки нету. Форма. Тигр. Боевая форма стандартного образца камуфляжа тигр снижает заметные БЦ на фоне каменистого ландшафта. Растительности. Вот. Мне надо вот это будет, да? Город, бетон. Боевая форма стандартного образца пиксельный камуфляж. О, вот это будет, наверное, еще лучше, да? Ничего. Смокинг. Ну а чё нет? На фоне песка или растительности боевая. Давай вот это вот. Угу. И все. Транспорт. Чё? Я могу на танке поехать? Seriously? Это Абрамс какой-то, да, походу? Могло... Кто? Маглуадер какой-то. Основной боевой танк штурмового назначения, сбалансированная боевая машина, состоящая на вооружении стран по маневренности оборонительных характеристик на 105-миллиметровым орудием главного калибра. Носорог. О, блин, это че? Закос под 64-ку какую-нибудь, поди. 72-ку. миллиметровым. Блин, 125. Еще на снижено ради упрощения массового производства. Понятно. Грузовичок. Джипик. Ладно. Точно, давай. Вечерочком поехали.
Target is a Spetsnaz detachment commander. Your orders are to take him out. With skills like his, it'd be a shame to waste him. But I'll leave the method up to you. Boss, make your way to Dishago-Calais and eliminate the target.
Ну зачем мне устранять? Я ж, наверное, смогу его забрать себе, да?
From plants to make medicine or poison for use in new weapons and equipment. Take a look at the plants list on your iDroid to see which ones we need. Then go find them if you get the chance. It'll keep the staff happy too.
iDroid. Ну. Ресурсы, наверное, да? Растения. Ни хрена себе, я могу вот это дело все продать, поднять бабла. О, 3 мульта уже. Ну давай. Не. 250 тысяч почти поднял на траве. Так. Идем сюда. Там надо будет, я думаю, залезть куда-нибудь на какую-нибудь возвышенность. И все очень хорошо смотреть в бинокль. Хия. Сверкнула травка.
Golden Crescent. It's a type of medicinal plant. We can use that to make tranquilizer rounds more potent.
Транквилизатор. Так, ага, вот она деревня.
You have arrived. Extraction arrived at Mother Base.
You've arrived at the objective. Your target should be somewhere in that outpost. And don't forget, he has a Spetsnaz recon detail with him. Keep your guard up.
Так, чпок. И готово. Вот чувак. Вот чувак. Йоу.
Is that him? Take a good look at their faces so we can ID the targets. A portable toilet. If you're gonna hide inside, watch the
Мне
enemy doesn't
не
decide to
хочется
use it.
слышать про портативный
Same
туалет.
goes for hiding down
Хотел бы
enemies
вот
in it.
про этого чувака услышать. Так. Думаю, что надо максимально всех чуваков пометить, которых я смогу найти. Чтобы потом нечаянно не наткнуться.
Boss, intelligence work is all about observation and gathering information. Start by using your binoculars to get a grasp of your surroundings.
Еще один. Так, ну что, еще есть кто? Нет? Там может где-то еще есть чуваки. Я прям хочу максимально столсово это все делать. Ты угораешь? Повернись. Еще перед этим я сделаю одну штуку. А, это надо было все-таки их, наверное, короче, пометить, да? Че такое, не пойму. Стены из грязи. Прикол. Я же могу сделать вот так. Оно же мне поможет, да? Что, ну как? Связь ему оборву, если. Пум-пум-пум-пум-пум-пум. Еще вон ту антенну им сломать можно будет.
Those materials have already been processed. It may not be much, but we can use them straight away if you bring them back to base.
Не стреляй, пожалуйста, не стреляй!
He speaks Russian. What we need is an interpreter. The main principle of intelligence work is intel gathering. But that's a problem if you don't speak the enemy's language. We need a staff member with the interpreter skill to do a simultaneous interpretation.
Так, смотри-ка, если скину сюда, он... А, я могу спуститься так. Я вроде слышал, типа, что когда оглушаешь рукой, типа, чувака, вот так, он на дольше оглушен. Ну, то есть, больше времени в этом состоянии, то есть, ну, не просыпаясь, может пролежать. Так, вторая. Оп, у меня еще одна. Не-не-не-не-не-не-не-не. Даже не думай. Так, а теперь... А я вот не помню. А, блядь, вот надо было, пока видел. Наверху там был пометить. Теперь бегающий. Пошел. По-моему, это она же. Да, это она. Пойдем туда. Поставлю последнюю мину. Эвакуирую, я думаю, офицера. Все-таки не убил, а эвакуирую я его. Ты меня не видишь, ты меня не знаешь. Бля. Ой, коробка не. А, нет, прикинь, он тоже привели. Я думал, нет. Так, ну я все-таки, наверное, лучше... Ой, да что ты, убери. Где-то здесь же должны быть эти еще какие-нибудь там коробочки. Нету коробочек. Ладно, черт с ним. Без коробочек. Чё? Канистры. В воздухе висят. Так, нейтрализовал ты одного, да, чувака? Да. как бы быстрее. Ой. Прям не туда, куда надо. Поставил, короче, метку. Не знаю, вот этого. Ой, это радист. Пам-пам-пам-пам-пам. Оп. Я думаю, что у него должно быть знание русского языка. Почему 90%? То есть на фулта не может через крышу пролететь, что ли, эту травяную? Ладно, давай вот этого заберу сейчас. Я его уже эвакуировал. Ряд поддержки. Все, что мне нужно было из О. No, 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 no. Сука тупая, не может заползти. Типа он, да. Пиздец. Куда пошел?
КП, на меня напали. Возможно, противник. Жду указаний. Прием! Это КП, понял. На нас напали. Всем подразделениям. Боевую готовность. Конец связи.
Marker placed.
О, как, кстати, вот это вот вовремя прям так хорошо-то помогла это. Ой-ой-ой-ой-ой. Тревога. Бля, они, короче, к нему все подлетели, да? Сейчас они возле него будут тереться.
You have arrived at your destination.
say it would be a waste to kill him. But putting him to sleep doesn't count as eliminating him. Neither does knocking him out.
Ну все, и валим нахер. Вообще просто изи, не спалился. Ну, спалился, вернее, час, пока к этому убегал.
Outside of heaven. Boss, your objective's complete. Exfiltrate out of the hot zone by chopper or on land. Don't hang around.
Смотрим. Бум. Бум.
You destroyed their anti-air radar? It wasn't one of the targets, but that's put a hole in their air surveillance. The chopper will be able to get in close now. You can designate a landing zone near the outpost.
Доступно новое место посадки.
Extraction arrived at Mother Base.
Ну все, заказываем вертушечку, да? Полет. А, есть два каких-то не это, да? Не выполнено. Ну, я не знаю, наверное, потому что они потом появятся. Так. Ой, ёпта. Сюда вообще можно отправить.
Support helicopter requested.
Че, он вот один, что ли, трется, я не пойму. А, вот.
Arriving shortly at LZ. This is P4. Stand by.
Post captured. Support helicopter has arrived.
Не видно нихуя аж. Где я? Так, лучше видно хоть что-то.
Extraction arrived at Mother Base.
Say, boss.
А, это того.
No enemy forces in pursuit. Mission complete.
Development project has been added.
Западное
Mission
село.
complete. Great work.
Ранг Б.
thanks to being in the field again. Having choppers and horse at your disposal is indispensable for operating in the wilds of Afghanistan. I've gone ahead and arranged for you to be able to develop and customize weaponry for support choppers. And you can also develop new equipment for D-Horse if you like. Use your iDroid to start development as needed.
Окей. Особый добровольец. Эндерфокс. Голдфокс. Элитный солдат. А, вот, это типок этот, ну. Атакующий. Неплохой дипломат.
Side ops list updated.
Side ops list is comprised of problems we need you to resolve. Objectives to be completed.
Повернись, тупая лошадь.
Soldiers and prisoners you've extracted. These aren't missions per se, but if you can take care of them when you're free, I'd appreciate it.
Whoa, whoa!
Как все медленно срабатывает, блядь. Давай. Волка выдрем. Я выдрем. Так, ладно. Оружие, предметы. Давай, так, оборудование напарника.
Please specify a project.
Сильно экономическими пластинами. Укрепление защиты. Западное седло, парадное седло. Нахер. Вертолет. Сейчас посмотрим, что на вертолете можно качнуть. Динамик. Мощный бортовой громкоговоритель. Это воспроизводящее устройство разработано для повышения боевого духа дружественных войск и деморализации противников. Испытание боевых действий. Пум-пум-пум, понятно. Это чё? Нурсов. И предельно простые по конструкции, лишены каких, ну понятно. Работать залпами по площадям. Ракеты. Воздух, земля, высокоточные ракеты. Локационно-системное наведение, затворные электронные деньги, достаточно дороги в эксплуатации. Ну это... Давай, чё уж. Я так понимаю, у меня тут еще что-то можно. Только чё? А, все. Так, что-то еще, по-моему, разблокировалось, да? Пупышник. О, побочки. Эвакуация переводчика русский. Это нам надо. Да, 2 километра бежать. Ну ладно. Сейчас бы еще посмотреть, как удобнее. Так. Вот сейчас. Обойдем пост.
Extraction arrived at Mother Base.
Еще время? 3 часа. Не успею. Ну ладно, я, короче, как подойду к этому, к месту назначения, я думаю, что можно будет... Как-то время же можно пропустить, я так понимаю, в этой игре тоже. Работает. Я. Ну, стопудово надо переводчика эвакуировать. Но самому проще будет потом допрашивать. Так, а я тут смогу срезать? Ну да. Я тут могу срезать.
Development complete.
Это что такое? Погман кип какой-то. Что такое, непонятно вообще. Оп. Стоп. На. Это хочет, если копыта вывернуто было вообще. Целиком и полностью.
The Soviet soldier. A lot of them came from Central Asia before, but lately they've been using more and more Russians. So really, there's less hesitation to pull the trigger if they're not fighting their own race. Morbid cynicism, but it gets results. That's humanity for you. That wild dog pup. He's a tough little guy. Boss, this is no time to be playing with animals. What are you gonna do, boss?
Какой щенок? Где щенок? Я никакого щенка не вижу. Алло. Че, ёпта, куку, что ли?
случай, если я вдруг
That's the target.
Spend
I spent last night
with your girlfriend.
with your girlfriend.
Это было неплохо.
Правда? И что это значит?
Я друг твоего приятеля.
Ого, это действительно и полезно. Любые мелочи могут...
You have arrived at your destination. Side op completed. Extraction arrived at Mother Base. Unit function added.
Boss, that language specialist you extracted has been very cooperative. Says he's always dreamed of living a free life, like folks in the West. What are the odds, huh? I've gone ahead and placed him in the support unit. His job is Russian interpretation. Now you'll know what Soviet soldiers are saying. You can even interrogate them. Should give you an edge in the mission.
Опытный боец. Бля, далеко. Кассеты. Туманный отряд. Тобой. Не хочу слушать это говно. Слишком долго. Так. Сейчас 23. Ладно, давай вот это. Сейчас я вызываю вертолет. Рандеву.
Support helicopter requested.
И на вертолете туда поближе подлечу. Блядь, ну 2,5 километра что-то вообще не стоит. Оп. Ты чё, мазафака? Гавкала. Тяв-тяв. Чё это было?
This is B-Quad. Arriving shortly at LZ.
Не понял вообще.
This is B-Quad. On station at LZ.
Ну как будто где-то здесь, вот в этом районе, короче. Чавкал кто-то. Это щенок, наверное, да? Которого я проебал и не увидел. А, вот она, ёпта. Стартанул.
Roger that. We'll pick him up. Gaining altitude.
Marker placed. Buddy departing area of operations.
Так, пойду кофейку налью, пока летим.
Departing.
Extraction arrived at Mother Base.
Prolonged time in the field is bad for the body and mind. I think it's time you took a break. Do it for me. Come back to Mother Base ASAP.
Вот я не догадался бы. Так. Сразу на базу пролетел.
Didi, come back!
Mitch.
Here's the dog you brought back. Bit of a troublemaker. Not sure about the breed, though. He'll get bigger? Uh-huh. Like this. You know, I can look after him. He's still a pup, so he doesn't listen. I have a feeling someday he'll be useful. I suspect you discovered a real diamond in the rough. With a little polish, I say we got a true diamond dog on our hands.
Ну, бля, ну тоже что-то с глазом. Ой, да.
DD, right? Hostile raising hounds. Fine.
Come on, Didi.
Бля, так бегает прикольно. Воу, ты куда? Дрочелет.
Staff assigned.
Ну да. О, тут как раз, я так понимаю, задание. Вот это. Вау, кавай. Командир спец... Кодирован с большого расстояния, 100 метров или более. Собрана Сома. Это расстоящая пустыня между деревней Шагу и крепостью Спугмай. Значит, она где-то здесь, да? Да. Сказал командир. Водитель грузовика эвакуирован, захвачен. Не нахер. Так, ладно, все, я думаю, пока стоит тормознуть стрим. Завтра продолжим.